Hey there, Oz.
Hey there, Curtis.
Hey, what movie we watching this week?
This week, we're going to wrap up our truncated cop movie month with a movie marriage of Cannonball Run
Okay.
meets 48 Hours
Yeah.
meets Beyond the Sea
Okay.
with a little bit of Ghostbusters.
All right.
This week, we're watching Cop and a Half.
Tell me more about Ghostbusters.
Well, Devin wanted to cross the streams.
Okay. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Which is so gross.
I think I struck a lot of this movie from my memory.
I don't blame you. This is, I will admit, I haven't seen a lot of like old Burt Reynolds stuff. I just haven't.
I think it was kind of a zeitgeist thing, I think, with Burt Reynolds. And you and I either hadn't been born yet or were in our infancy, during the Burt Reynolds, kind of the late 70s to mid 80s zeitgeist.
He had a run for sure.
He had a Cannonball Run.
Yes, he did. A couple of them. But you're right. It was this. I could say the same thing about Charles Bronson.
Yes, that's a good comp. Where like they were a thing in the cultural ethos at that time, but it didn't really have legs.
No. It wore out its welcome, and when it died, it just died on the vine. Like
and people were okay with it at the time.
Yeah,
it was
what would you say might be the closest zeitgeist type thing? Not necessarily person. First thing comes to mind is like that run of like scary movie, not another teen movie, superhero movie run, where it's like it was there for a blip and made a ton of money, and then they just quit making them and like no one even noticed.
Well, in a similar note, there were kind of like your teen coming out, like the late 90s sort of teen coming of age movies, like American Pie. Can't hardly wait. Even what's that dumb football movie with Dawson from Dawson's Creek? Varsity Blues. Kind of fits in that. There was that kind of thing in like the late 90s through the like mid aughts.
Yeah,
like
found footage films that kind of had their thing too.
Yeah.
But here we're talking about...
It's not that they didn't work, but it just was a moment in time for that generation.
Well, and then back to a Reynolds and Bronson, like not a lot of range out of these two.
How dare you besmirch the acting range of Charles Bronson?
So it's like, hey, there's a guy with muscles and a mustache. Let's put him in a movie, and it's fine. They were good at what they were good at, and then they were just. There they went.
I think Muscles and Stash was the working title for Tango and Cash.
That was actually, I think it ran out of steam, but there was going to be a Bronson Reynolds mashup. Muscles and Stash.
Muscles and Stash.
It's like that pilot trailer I sent you to that Roddy Piper, Jesse Ventura.
Yes. Oh my God. I wish that became a thing.
I would have watched that on repeat.
I would have watched the butt off of that.
Yes. Oh, welcome back, listeners and viewers, to another week of Let's Talk About Flicks, the podcast where we take a monthly theme. Like I said, this month, this 75%, 60% of this month is cop movies. Yes. And we are wrapping it up with the cop movie of all cop movies. Cop and a Half.
Cop and a Half.
So much crime, you have to have more, like, another portion of a cop to handle it.
This is 150% movie.
That's right. This is the Amish version of a cop movie.
We bowl 15 frames.
I chose this movie. And listeners, viewers, you know it by now. We're on episode 183. If you haven't figured out that there's a lot of self-inflicted pain on this show.
Yeah.
But that's what we find humor in.
Yeah, but that's part of the bit. I think with us. I think for our loyal listeners, they get that. Like we will watch a classic like RoboCop one week, and then follow it up with
Cop and a Half,
another film with the word "cop" in the title. Cop and a Half.
Yes,
of all the other movies with the word "cop" in the title, we could have gone
with another robotic performance from Burt Reynolds. But it is what we do. The idea is definitely a lot more magical than the execution, as we have to watch movies, and take the notes.
But I think our loyal viewers will appreciate our take on Cop and a Half more than the actual movie itself.
I hope so. So before we get rolling, we do want to give our Patreon subscribers a shout out. Don S, Aaron A, May K, Melissa L, Connolly K, and Lyle M. Thank you for your patronage, and feel free to just leave this recording at this moment if you want to. So
I got a feeling this is the episode that's going to put us over the top. This is the one that's going to get us, we're going to double our Patreon subscribers.
I don't know if double, but at least we'll get another half.
We'll get another half. It'll go up by 50%. We'll go from six to 9 Patreon subscribers.
Yeah. So Patreon and a half is the name of this episode. Oh, right. Well, who is in this masterpiece from Henry Winkler?
You literally beat me to. I was going to use the word masterpiece as well. We have the aforementioned Burt Reynolds as Detective Nick McKenna, tough as nails, detective in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, so tough, he wears jeans and drives his own sports car.
Yeah, he just puts the light on top of that car, and there he goes. So we have him as well as his partner. Was that 9-year-old? Was he 9?
8. He's 8.
8-year-old Devin Butler, played by, I will say, a charming Norman D. Golden II.
Would this movie have been better or worse with Kevin Butler as the half cop?
It's Kevin Butthead, Super Bowl 20 winning kicker. Well, he didn't win the game, but he was on the winning team. Kevin Butler. Yeah. I think it would have been at least the same quality with
I would have enjoyed just if AI can remove Devin Butler from every scene of this film and replace him with football gear wearing Kevin Butler.
Yeah.
I would still probably watch it.
Yeah. Also could have gone with 90s sitcom star Brett Butler.
Brett Butler, yeah.
Yes.
Or wasn't there a Brett Butler baseball player?
Yeah, he was center fielder for the Giants and the Dodgers. He could have been in there too.
Yeah. So all kinds of potential butlers. But we Devin Butler.
Yes, we get Devin Butler. We have Ruby Dee as Rachel, Devin's grandmother. We have Holland Taylor. Yes, that Holland Taylor.
The Holland Taylor.
Yes, as Captain Rubio. The McKenna's boss out at the station. I totally thought she was going to be a bad guy. When I started watching the movie, I convinced Patreon subscriber Melissa L to watch this with me, and I turned to her when this character is introduced, and I was like, "She's in on it. She's a bad guy." And she wasn't.
You gave this movie way too much depth.
I did. I thought there would be a plot twist.
There were zero twists.
There was none.
This is a fresh sheet of paper. This one.
I'll mention one more character. We also have Ray Sharkey, who I guess died pretty close after this movie came out, playing the musical villain Vinnie Fountain.
Oh my, okay, that was a choice.
Yeah, it was. This movie is at was it a 4.3 4.2 on IMDb. I think I had texted you earlier in the week and said, like, this movie isn't as bad as 4.2. No. It's not that much better.
No. I saw in the trivia that at one point in IMDb's rankings, this was the worst movie ever made.
Really?
At one point, this held the #1 lowest rated movie on IMDb. Oh. But I think that, again, this movie came out in 93. IMDb's been around for quite a while. That was, I would assume, before they really, pre-streaming, before they really started to engulf all films that have been made. When it was probably more just studio stuff. Because, this is Universal Picture.
Yeah. Before Seagal started doing all of his direct-to-video movies.
Yeah, exactly. Hold my protein shake.
Yeah. So I don't think this movie is 4.2 bad.
No,
it's not good.
No.
I know we talked at the tail end of last week as we were wrapping up RoboCop that this movie debuted at #1 in the box office. And it made almost 3 times its budget.
Yeah.
So it had an audience.
Oh yeah, yeah.
People wanted to go see Cop and a Half.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not tragically bad.
There's bad. There's really poor choices.
Yeah.
But we've used a word the past few weeks, especially with like Time Cop, of competent.
Yes.
And this film falls into that category. It's, you look at it and you can tell the producers are keeping an eye on things, and the director's been on a film set before. Like it, and I guess Burt Reynolds was just a nightmare behind the scenes because he didn't want to do it. But ultimately it's a competent film. You're not shocked by any, outside of just a couple of...
There's a couple really cringy moments that are more, like, this was made in 93.
Exactly.
It captures some of the 1993-ness.
Right.
But like it's edited okay enough.
Yeah.
There's a coherent enough plot line.
Alan Silvestri does what Alan Silvestri
does. Yeah. I think we're taking all of the goods right now, by the way. But we'll circle back to some of this stuff. But it is a competent film. It's not a good competent film, but it resembles a film.
Right. So, well, I got the plot on this one.
Let's get to the plot.
We meet Devin. Devin is on the playground at school. This is the school of unsupervised children, where there is like one, maybe two staff members in the entire building.
I think is the school next to the children who can't read and
from Zoolander. This is the school whose philosophy is we don't need to supervise the kids at recess. We have a fence. The bad will stay out. The good will stay in.
It's the Montessori method. Kids will induce their own learning.
Exactly. Go wonder. So he's playing cops on the playgrounds with his friend Sanchez. Sanchez is playing the bad guy. He's got a CB radio directly to Devin, so Devin can, they can play. And that's all they're doing. They're playing cops and robbers.
Yeah.
Sanchez takes off into the school, and we get kind of a pursuit as Devin's hunting him down, and Devin opens a door that he believes Sanchez is behind, and he shoots a teacher in the pants with his water gun.
Yes.
For way longer than he should have, simply because you would think he would recognize that I'm looking at the crotch of a grown man, but I'm shooting anyway. Fire away.
Pulling the trigger regardless.
Right. So he takes off. Two older boys, which we see is just these bullies who honestly never really get their comeuppance. Like they get off pretty easy for the amount of
bullying they do. Yeah.
Negativity they induce. Devin goes into the bathroom. They catch these two bullies, which I swear one of them looked like the youngest boy from Home Improvement. It wasn't, but I had to look it up because I'm like, the timeline doesn't line up. It shouldn't be him, and it wasn't. I
guess two of the three kids from Home Improvement have not gone on to. They've led troubled lives.
I've read that as well. But when your dad's Tim Allen, muscle cars and cocaine, allegedly. Now he was arrested for it.
Didn't he do? I think he did a little bit of jail time.
He did. So, so these boys steal Devin's money. They give a swirly. Devin gets in trouble despite being covered in toilet water.
Yeah, because it's his fault he got swirlied.
Yeah, and he comes out swirly. But apparently, you get the feeling that like very few kids are actually bullied by these boys because nobody else like at this time in the movie, nobody really like sides with Devin. He's just, and as we learn more about Devin, he is a little grating, but whatever.
He's committed to being a cop.
Very much so.
And you get the impression that the other kids are kind of tired of the shtick.
That's what I'm getting at. It was funny last week, Devin. And principal calls grandma. So on the way home, we meet McKenna. Devin and Sanchez, again, they're headed home, and they see McKenna chasing a perp on foot, like the overweight perp, dressed in the suit, is running on foot, and McKenna's chasing him down in his SS Camaro. The perp jumps over fences. McKenna drives through fences. Like, this is the type of cop we're dealing with here in Tampa.
The hotbed of crime in America, Tampa.
Right. Which, of course, he follows the Marvel method of the RoboCop method of I'm going to do more destruction in an effort for justice.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we see this like Lincoln peeling out from this park, and Devin takes down the license plate of this car. Okay. Devin gets home. We meet Grandma Ruby D. She's giving him a lecture because, again, he got in trouble at school. So she's lecturing him about you got to take care of yourself, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm off to work now. See ya.
Yep.
I'm going to leave you alone by yourself, 8-year-old.
8-year-old.
Yeah. With no parents, as he's living with Grandma. So take care. Meanwhile, like the nosy lady who's always just sweeping the stoop. She's constantly like, I'm going to turn you into child services. Then do it. Like it's kind of a running.
Do you enjoy just hanging this over her head?
Right. It's this running gag throughout the movie that like every adult she runs into that has an interaction at the home, she's like, are you with the police? Are you with child services? You never called. If you're going to do it, do it.
Do it.
So Devin, we get a touching little scene here where Devin's alone. And so he goes and sits on the front porch. He's got his walkie-talkie. Sanchez lives right next door. Kind of looks over his shoulder, sees that they're sitting down as a family eating dinner. He calls him on the radio. Sanchez is like, I can't right now. I'm eating. And it's like, it sucks. Because there's a lot of kids that go through this.
Yeah. You do feel for Devin in this movie. Yeah, it's him and Grandma, and Grandma loves him. She does.
Oh, yeah. But
it's
got to make ends meet.
Yeah, it's a single parent type structure, or single guardian structure, and it's tough.
Yeah. So as Devin is kind of sitting and waiting, the Lincoln from the park drives by, and he recognizes the car because he's super cop, and
he does have a steel trap mind.
He does. And I love that we're just allowed to forgive speed differences. Like, here's a overweight perp running on foot. McKenna can't catch him in his car. Here's a car driving away. Devin has time to get on his bike and yet still keep up with said car.
Yeah.
He follows this car all the way to where it's going. The endurance and speed of Devin.
I will say Devin's much larger stunt double follows. There's a couple instances in which, like, that's a small man. Doing that.
And so Devin sneaks in to this warehouse because it's down by it's crime. Crime's going to happen, so it has to happen in a warehouse down by the river.
That's where it happens. It's down in a warehouse near a body of water.
Yeah, near a body. I said river, and I'm like, we're in Tampa. That's the bay. And so we meet the henchman from before, and we see the perp. He's like tied down to a chair, and we meet Vinnie Fountain.
What a stupid name.
What a stupid character.
Vinnie Fountain.
He comes in crooning. He comes in singing his songs. Hence the Beyond the Sea movie Marriage. And these are the least intimidating criminals. But this is the crime syndicate in Tampa. Like I said, the perp from before, he gets killed off screen. They basically he's tied to a chair. They attach it, they just hoist him away and lead us to believe he's dead. And he is. Like, that's fine. Meanwhile, Vinny just monologues as Devin has his flip notebook, his police notebook, and he's jotting all this stuff down. So he's got the license plate of the car. He's writing down all the information about this drug deal that's going to go down. And because they're in a warehouse, there's stray pipes laying everywhere. And Devin knocks one down as he goes to leave. Of course, they think it's just pigeons. They fire. The pigeons do fly off, so they're convinced it was just pigeons.
It was the pigeons. It was those famous Tampa pigeons.
But at the same time, we're in this evacuated, dilapidated warehouse, but they're still running water as they shoot, and the boss gets wet. So, Vinnie Fountain, everybody.
Vinnie Fountain. Hey, it's me, Vinnie Fountain.
So because there's this death, who called it in? Like, Devin didn't. Like, who called? This is the same time. Like, Devin's still there. Mm-hmm. Like, who called in this murder?
It was probably Vinny Testaverde. I think he was QB in the Buccaneers at the time.
Yeah, that's true. I think I heard someone die. So McKenna arrives on the scene at the warehouse, and he's introduced to Devin, and he doesn't like him. He's a kid. He doesn't like him as a witness. No. He's a kid.
He's a kid. But very dismissive.
But the henchmen are still there, and they take notice of this interaction. So they now know Devin was a witness.
Yeah.
So Devin gets taken down to the station. He's looking at mug shots, and he reveals, I didn't see their face. I just saw them from the back. Do you have any pictures? Do you have any pictures of these guys from the back? I could recognize a good head of hair if I had it.
Well, that one guy is a really good head of hair.
Yeah.
With the dark hair.
Yeah. The brother-in-law from Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like my wife last night when I was watching, she goes, "Oh, that's the guy from that." She couldn't pull the movie.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, he's in that Adam Sandler movie with Drew Barrymore," which then naturally I go, 50 First Dates.
50 First Dates.
And she's like, "Stop it."
Patreon subscriber Melissa L has a really big soft spot for 50 First Dates.
Oh yeah, we do too. Like we watch it a lot. But as she's trying, I finally go, "Do you want me to tell you what his job was?" And then she's like, "Oh yeah, it's Wedding Singer. Never mind, I got it." So Devin's down at the station looking at mugshots. And Devin is a terrible witness.
Uh-huh.
Terrible witness, because after he's looking through all these mugshots, he goes, "I got a license plate number." Like, oh, great.
You could have led with that.
Yeah, great. Can you give us the number? Well, I want to see the captain first. Okay, so we bring in Holland Taylor, and they're like interrogating him for what seems to be hours.
Yeah.
Will you give us the plate number? And Devin's like, "No, I want to be a cop."
Uh-huh.
So there's the premise of the movie.
Yeah, he basically holds them for ransom.
Yes, he's holding the police ransom.
Yeah.
I want to be a cop for a day in exchange for this evidence that could lead to arresting someone for murder. And Devin's like, "Nope, we're going to play it my way."
Mm-hmm. And they're forced to go along with it.
Yeah, because he also reveals, "I've got information about this drug deal too." The henchmen get back to Vinny and let him know there's a witness. It's a kid. So, now the plot is unfolding. It's not, it's only been folded a couple of times, but it's now unfolding.
It's not too fancy of a napkin.
Yeah. Next morning, supposedly Devin and McKenna are getting ready to roll out. Devin will not get in the car. And we get this really silly scene of like every beat cop in Tampa is in the parking lot at the same time.
Of course.
And McKenna, apparently, is he a detective?
He's Detective McKenna.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But he apparently is the only detective in Tampa.
Yeah.
There's a police chief, there's a detective, and then there's 45 beat cops.
There's not a lot to detect in Tampa.
Apparently not. And especially when the henchmen call in their own murder.
Hey, Tampa police, I'd like to report a murder.
Yeah, it was Bobby Darin. And so Devin won't get in the car until he's got a badge and cuffs, because every cop needs a badge and cuffs.
That's how you cop.
To which McKenna's like, "You're not a cop. Like, drop the act, kid." Which then all the beat cops are like, "We better listen to him, McKenna." So we get the first just... McKenna, they have to, I get it. You got to build McKenna up as being this anti-kid jerk. McKenna lights up a cigarette and Devin is like, "Don't you know smoke? Have you ever heard of secondhand smoke?" As Burt Reynolds turns and blows the smoke directly into this child's face. For real.
Yep. Yep. Choices.
Yes.
Choices.
I'll admit the kid is a pain. Like when you go from McKenna is the "I work alone" cop. Mm-hmm. That's him. And
Triceracop was his former partner.
Exactly. The kid's a pain to to McKenna. Mm-hmm. Understand, McKenna's the I do things my way kind of cop.
He's your stereotypical gruff mustachioed cop.
Yep. So Devin sees a purse snatcher because they're just basically at a stakeout, and they're not. Yeah. Like McKenna's literally like, we're just going to park the car for 8 hours.
For 8 hours, yeah. So I can get this over with.
Let's just wear you out. And Devin sees a purse snatcher, and gets out of the car. This man is sprinting.
Yes.
And Devin again catches up to him.
Well, I mean, he commandeers a skateboard.
He does. He's running after this purse snatcher, and then again commandeers a skateboard. And McKenna, being McKenna, I'm just going to drive through traffic, and like I'm after it. We know it's a chase because we got some amazing saxophone music going.
Yeah. That's how you do a cop chase. Mm-hmm. The McKenna, like he's always, I hate running.
I hate running.
I hate getting out of my car. I hate jumping over fences.
I just drive through them.
Yeah.
So yeah, they chase this guy down. Apparently the only bus stop in Tampa is on the other side of Tampa.
Yeah. It's the only bus stop. Eventually it just loops around and comes back. Doesn't drop anyone off anywhere.
She works on the bus. Like
it's her mobile office.
Yeah. So but it turns out it was a guy whose wife forgot her purse, and he was just running to the bus stop to get it to her.
Yeah, because you never actually saw a purse snatching happen. You just saw a man running with the purse.
So I can see the assumption of he's a purse snatcher.
I mean, he was like knocking people over.
Like, get out of my way!
Out of the way!
He ran through a pane of glass and boxes of chickens.
Yeah, of course, they just went everywhere. He did the hopscotch as he came across it on the sidewalk.
Yeah, McKenna shows up and he's just drenched. It's the first cardio he's done in months.
He hates running.
And he tells that I don't like to run. And Devin's like, "Why are you so mean to me? We have a love-hate relationship." To which McKenna corrects him, "No, we have a hate-hate relationship." Mm-hmm. Apparently, like, "No, you hate me, Devin. Remember?" Yes. So Devin finally is like, "Fine, here's the plate number." Like he cracks, and I'll give it to you. Gives it the plate number. Of course, they track it down. It's a fake name and a fake address. Yeah. Like the address, like the registration is to the library. So Devin he's like, we're back at the station, and Devin is like hanging out with the cops, like the desk cops that be like. Everybody seems to love this kid but McKenna, because we've got to build the animosity between these two.
Well, it's additionally the other cops don't have to spend time with Devin.
That's true. Yeah. Like, he's a fun kid to have around in a dose.
As long as you're not with him for 8 hours.
Because you've got an 8-year-old kid telling you how to do your job at all times, because Devin's by the book.
Yeah. It's funny when it happens to somebody else.
Yeah. So, the phone rings. Devin takes a call. Like, the cops are just like, "This is great." Like, there's no quality control at the Tampa place.
No.
Like, it's the first kid I've ever seen. Like, this kid's great. Let's let him answer calls. Let's let him go on. Oh, it's stupid. So McKenna finds, because Devin mentions a Bobo, and McKenna finds 3 Bobos in the Tampa area to investigate. So we get what might be one of the more fun parts of the movie, where we actually deviate a little bit from the central plot as we go on this Bobo side quest. So we go, like, Devin and McKenna go to see Bobo number 1, and he's this like impressionist painter. Like he's on like this human swing as he swings. It's like covered in blue paint, singing, and it's clearly he's not the Bobo.
Propels him to the giant canvas.
Yeah, he's not the Bobo they're after. And it's fine. It's fun. We get to Bobo 2, which I'm pretty sure this was the human embodiment of John Lovett's The Critic. This guy looked like that cartoon. But we get this schlub. Bobo 2 is the schlub who's having china plates thrown at him by his way hotter than he deserves wife.
Yes.
Like, way hotter. And they're like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "I forgot her anniversary." And of course McKenna, who's single, is like, "And?" Like,
yeah.
And Devin he goes and douses water in the situation by breaking into this woman's house.
Yes,
and she's about to fall out of her negligee.
Yes, she is. I have a feel like the actor who was playing Devin got a couple life lessons here.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and so Devin just is, he just basically settles the situation down by telling her, that it sucks, but he loves you. And you guys have each other, and of course, everybody is so one dimensional. She's like, "You're right.
You know what, 8-year-old? You're right. I do love my trashy husband."
It's this weird, bizarro, it's the same type of conversation from Wet Hot that Molly Shannon was having with the kid. Gail. It's basically that. But yeah, this guy.
Sorry, Ronald von Kleidenstein.
Exactly. But yeah, this woman was way hotter than Bobo 2 deserved.
Yes.
So really the takeaway from Bobo's 1 and 2 is McKenna, Devin's growing on him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He compliments Devin about how he handled Bobo 2, drops him off, but the day's over. Great police work today. Pulls, and he's like, same time tomorrow? No, we're done. Yeah. Pulls away, slams on the brakes, backs up. Devin gets this huge look of surprise on his face. Like, oh, he's changed his mind. Now he just wants his badge and cuffs back. So Devin's done being a cop for now. He partners back up with Sanchez. Again, Devin's only been a cop for a day.
Mm-hmm.
A day. He missed a day of school.
Yes.
Sanchez talks to him like, I barely remember you. I thought you were a goner. So they rekindle their friendship after 12 hours of whatever. And, Devin's like, you want to go get a ding dong? So they go down to the corner store, the 7-Eleven or whatever. They're going to get a ding dong. Well, the Lincoln is parked out
there.
front.
It's right there.
So Devin's got a plan. He's like, okay, you go, casually go. I mean, he's doing cop stuff,
of course.
Don't look conspicuous.
He slips into character.
Yep. And Sanchez, you go take this information. Devin's got a plan of some sort. Well, the bullies show up, and Devin, quick on his feet. It's like, because these bullies are going to beat the tar out of him. They got a baseball bat. Like they're going to kill him.
Yeah. So they walked into the Quick Mart with baseball bats at hand.
Yes. Yeah.
Just for context.
Yes. So they're going to punish Devin for just being there.
Yeah.
Devin, quick on his feet, is like, guys, leave me alone. I'm protecting my grandma's car. So then they take the baseball bat to the car because there's only one. Because there's only one detective in Tampa, and so you can get away with crimes like this. Yeah. Which then naturally the henchmen come out. Devin escapes. The henchmen come out, and run the bullies off. Again, these are henchmen that have been involved with a murder.
Yeah,
and they just watch these kids destroy their car, and their response is like, "Hey, knock it off!
hey,
quit!" Devin goes home, and the school counselor is there, and
quote unquote the school counselor.
Yes, Grandma. Actually has it. I have it in quotes. Grandma's just like, "What did you do, Devin? The school counselor's here." To where the answer should have been nothing. I've been with the police all day. Like, why have you not thought this through, Grandma? But Grandma just lets anybody in the house as long as they say they're from the school.
You're in my world now, Grandma.
So it's Vinnie Fountain.
Yeah.
He's just basically trying to get information from Devin. He's got plans on taking care of Devin and Grandma. But Devin recognizes he has the same,
it's like a shoe ribbon.
Yeah, it's like this,
like a jeweled shoe.
Yes, this cubic zirconia amethyst brooch on his boot.
Shoe brooch.
And so Devin recognizes the shoes and realizes who he's talking to, and gets out of the situation. Convinces him, I didn't see anything. Like, I was there, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah,
I only saw the backs of their heads. So of course, as soon the door closes from Vinnie Fountain leaving, and Devin is screaming for Grandma.
Yeah.
Even Fountain is like, wait a second, that seems odd. I'll forget it.
Yeah.
Cut to McKenna he's being convinced to take Devin in for witness protection purposes.
Because that's what they do. Yeah, Rubio tells him, you're going to bring this child into your own home.
You're going to do it because witness protection.
Yeah.
And because you guys are both on the poster. Like, it has to be you.
They don't have a safe house or anything like that. No,
you're the cop. He's the half.
You're just going to bring him home.
Yeah, just take him home. It's Tampa. Like, McKenna relents. Fine. He threatens to... We get the first of Devin's joke, which I wonder if this will come up later. Hey, McKenna, what comes after L? Bo. And then elbows him in the groin. Which McKenna threatens, I'm going to rip your elbow off.
Mm-hmm.
He's already threatened to kill him.
Yeah, he threatens him several times in this movie.
So it's... It definitely, he's got the hate side of this relationship now. McKenna is your stereotypical bachelor cop. The house is a mess.
Yep.
Apparently he used to play for the Indians.
Yeah. He's got a sitting chair.
He's got a, it's where he goes home and waits to work tomorrow.
And just white knuckles into the arms of the chair while he's waiting for his next shift to start.
In his very tight Indians jersey that he wears to bed. We get a really, really, really uncomfortable scene here where Devin's in brushing his teeth. And McKenna comes in to go to the bathroom and just whips it out and starts peeing right there.
While 8-year-old boy is next to him.
Devin then turns and looks, and they're having a conversation while McKenna's out.
Yes.
And peeing. Devin then asks him if he wants to play swords. Which McKenna's like, what are you talking about? Basically, let's pee in the bowl at the same time. And McKenna is like you went from I don't know how to act around kids to if this is what you're like around kids, you shouldn't be around them.
Yes, to I'm okay with my hanging out in front of an 8-year-old boy.
And obviously it wasn't for real. But Henry Winkler, come on.
I can also see Burt Reynolds. I picture Burt Reynolds behind the scenes as Norm Macdonald as Burt Reynolds. Just
chomping gum.
Just smacking his gum. Hey,
big cowboy hat on.
Hey, Henry, what do you think about this?
Right.
We'll play swords.
I do too, yeah. He's got his bolero tie on.
It'll be funny. We'll play swords.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, tomorrow. And so thankfully we get out of this really awkward scene without anything other than just Devin's peeing on McKenna's pants. It's weird. It's so weird.
No, thank you.
It's time for bed. Devin talks McKenna into reading him a story. He's just reading him the sports section.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, and then he starts reading about Billy Ripken's injury.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. It does put Devin to sleep, though. And we know it's time to be sweet because Alan Silvestri's music switches over to just plain piano.
Yep.
So it's sweet time. McKenna lights a cigarette and then even puts it out when Devin coughs. This kid's growing on me like a rage.
Speaking of John Lovitz.
Exactly. So the bad guys know that Devin is with McKenna and Vinnie Fountain is unhappy. I don't know how the bad guys figure out all this. Do they have an insider? They just know for the reasons of plot. They know. Well,
Holland Taylor she's
That's
the insider. True. They just never come out and say it.
That's true.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. She was working with him the whole time.
Yeah, you've got this figured out. So this is just a very quick scene of the henchman telling Vinnie Fountain, Devin, the kids with McKenna, and then the boss is like, you need to go erase them.
Yeah, it's a plot moving scene.
Yes. Cut back to the apartment. Where McKenna hears the noise and he wakes up and grabs his gun, as you do. And we've got a lot of suspense building music as McKenna's walking through the apartment with his gun fully out in front of him.
It was his gun this time that was fully out.
That's true.
He's okay just pulling things out.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine around 8-year-old kids to just have things out that shouldn't be out. And so the suspense builds, and he whips around the corner, puts the gun in Devin's face.
Yep.
And we have a white cop with a handgun inches away from a young black child's face.
Yes. Well, I was just getting a glass of milk.
Yeah, and I just wanted some milk. He drops it, milk shatter. And McKenna, thank God, But yep.
Choices. Yeah. Choices that we make when we make films.
There's no boundaries in Tampa, as McKenna's in the bathroom and Captain Rubio just comes into the men's room to talk to McKenna while he's in there. Devin is sad, and we know that because it's sad music.
Yeah.
Because the conversation was, McKenna's like, I had him for the night. I almost shot him in the face. Like you got to get him somewhere. Put him with this guy. He's got kids. Like, he knows what's up. So Devin gets switched over to Sergeant Exposition, who they're
Agent Exposition from Time Cop.
Exactly. So they're out with the speed radar. And as this cop is detailing McKenna's backstory. Mm-hmm. It's this guy who's good with kids because he has some of his own. Devin doesn't necessarily want to be with him, but he gets it. He used to have a partner, and his partner got killed. And it's the same song and dance.
Yeah, I put other officer expositions in all caps.
I actually have in my notes Sergeant Exposition.
Sergeant Exposition
tells Devin about McKenna losing his partner. Always a dead partner. McKenna, who does, for some reason, can't wait to get rid of this kid, but also can't ever let him go.
Yeah, after spending one night with him.
Right. He pulls up to the top of this embankment to watch Devin do his job.
To sigh and slump his shoulders.
Right. Devin's running the radar gun and decides that this van, who's going 38 and a 35, decides we got to bust him.
By the book.
Yeah, I do understand why the kids at school get tired of Devin's shtick. The kids beg, do not let him be the hall monitor, please.
It just goes to his head.
Yeah. And so they pull him over, and it's the teacher from before that he shot in the pants with the water gun. Mm-hmm. And we get, this scene is dumb.
Yeah.
I have in my notes, it's so funny. It's Devin, and Devin is pretending pretty much he doesn't even know who this guy is. I'm a cop. Yeah. You have to treat me as so. Even the teacher yells back at the real cop, really? And he's like, it's his jurisdiction. He's the cop. McKenna, from the top of the hill, after they let the guy go and Devin's walking back to the police car, McKenna sees the Lincoln, which up to this point, McKenna doesn't know that's the Lincoln. So I don't really know why suddenly he's cued in here, but whatever.
He sees it. And we cut to the bad guys as they're like, there he is. Let's mow him over. Yeah.
Everybody in Tampa wants to kill this kid. McKenna, the bullies, the bad, Vinny Testaverde, they all want to murder this kid.
Maybe Vinny Testaverde is Vinny Fountain.
He might. I've not seen them in the same place.
I have not.
So we get this, McKenna slides down the concrete embankment as sparks are flying from his boots. Why is he wearing? He's either wearing tap boots or he's got spurs. Or why?
He just came back from the studio.
Why is the rubber sole of his boots causing sparks on concrete?
It's science.
But they go to run him down. McKenna faces his biggest fear of running. Yeah. Actually runs running. And dives and saves Devin from getting run down. Other cop sees this go down, lets this car just drive right by him, and then goes to check on McKenna and the kid, which McKenna's like, go get that car. And then we get, I'm too old for this. It must be retiring tomorrow. It must be McKenna's plan. So Devin's back with McKenna. They got to go find Bobo 3. So they find him in a biker bar. McKenna's going to leave Devin in the car. He's like, it's just as rough outside.
Yeah.
Bobo 3 is ripped. He's oily.
Yes, just big greasy man.
Yes. McKenna doesn't reveal he's a cop. They know he's a cop because
he's a cop. He oozes stereotypical.
They call it out like, okay, cop, I'm not a cop. McKenna gets bashed over the head by a woman with a bottle.
Yes.
So now, like, you've attacked a police officer. He just throws her over the bar. Like, McKenna's the worst possible role model for Devin.
I think Devin yells at one point, "Don't hit her, she's a woman."
Yeah.
And that's what McKenna throws her over the bar, and he goes, "I didn't hit her."
I didn't hit her. Technicality, Devin. And so...
I didn't hit her, I shot her.
So McKenna just takes on the bar.
Basically.
He takes on the bar.
He Burt Reynolds his way through it.
Yeah, Devin excuses himself out to the police car and then calls over the loudspeaker that, like, the police are here.
Yeah, SWAT's here.
Yeah, SWAT's here. Everybody leaves. Bobo 3 gets on a motorcycle and they chase him down.
Mm-hmm.
He ramps over, like, because naturally, if there's going to be a drawbridge in a movie, it's got to be up.
Yep.
So
that's how it works.
Bobo 3 drives over, makes the jump. McKenna doesn't make the jump, and he radios in that they're perpendicular, and I wrote that they weren't. That was that car. No, you were like 45-degree angle. You weren't perpendicular.
No, you weren't.
That's a lie.
Or he's just bad at math.
Right, that too. McKenna wakes up the next morning, and Devin's gone. He sees the doors open, and of course he panics because the bad guys are after him. Devin just stepped out to get donuts, and McKenna goes off on him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, I get. Like, I'm supposed to be protecting you, kid, and you're supposed to be protected. Quit doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Devin just goes straight to, like, insane ex-girlfriend level, and he's like, that's not fatherly behavior. McKenna's like, I'm not your father. And then Devin almost flips out like, well, I thought you were my dad, and off he goes. Like, I get where Devin's coming from, 8-year-old, but again, you've established that this 8-year-old is quick on his feet, clear thinking the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then because he stayed a couple of nights at McKenna's for witness protection, he just jumped straight to, you're my dad now?
Yeah.
That's like telling somebody, we've been on 2 dates. I love you. Like,
we're married.
We're soulmates now. And you're like, whoa, I'm not saying this can't work, but let's pump the brakes.
Yeah.
So Devin goes straight there. So I don't fault McKenna for it. I mean, granted, he could have handled it a little softer, but still, like, I'm not your dad. Like, I'm a cop. Like, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Devin is just that thirsty for attention. Devin goes back to school and instantly gets grabbed up by the bullies. All these kids, the entire school gets let out now to come see Devin get a super wedgie.
Yep.
Like, Devin fights back, escapes. He ends up handcuffing these kids together. The bad guys pull up. The bad guys recognize the bullies and really just push them against the fence. Like, again, these bullies got off easy the bullies were probably the worst people in this movie.
Yeah.
And they get off pretty easy. So Devin sees the bad guys pull up. He's got a plan because, again, it's Devin.
Yep.
Got a plan. Suddenly, 70% of the kids on the playground have an orange hat.
I am Spartacus.
They all have hats now. They all look like Devin. Mm-hmm. And so suddenly you've got an entire, like, none of this makes sense.
Nope.
The kids don't know Devin is wrapped up in this murder investigation. The kids don't know that the bad guys are after him.
Yeah.
The kids don't like Devin. They just cheered on the wedgie he was getting.
Yes.
And then suddenly Devin's like, hey guys, I need you to be part of my plan. And these kids are like, we're in. We love games.
Just tell us what to do, Super Cop.
And so they all team up and they just go through a series of things to stop these bad guys. Because apparently it's an obstacle course through this playground. Mm-hmm. And then they do like
tripping with jump ropes.
Yes. And then they do a lot of, I'm Devin Butler. No, I'm Devin Butler. And then the bad guys just get frustrated. So the kids throw Twinkies at them.
Yeah. That's,
it's hilarious.
It ends with product placement.
It's hilarious.
It was a lot of Twinkies they had.
They were all ready. Well, they probably came with the hats.
They did.
McKenna, of course, doesn't know where Devon's at because he ran off. Devon checks it with Grandma. We find out now that Devon's an idiot, and his plan all along was, you guys slow down the bad guys. I'm going to go hide in the back of their car.
Yeah.
Well, that was stupid.
Yeah, with my radio on full blast.
Yes, yeah. So Sanchez talks. They hear him. Of course, they find him quickly. They take him to Vinnie Fountain. Devon just keeps mouthing off, so they lock him in a room with a phone.
Yes.
So Devon is looking around, and he's, what would McKenna do? Is what he actually says.
Well, call 911.
I'd call 911. So he calls 911. It doesn't in Tampa. It doesn't go to a call center. When you call 911, you're just calling the police station.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no, like, hopefully you don't have a fire because you're calling the cops.
Yeah. It's all going to that phone.
And all the cops, there's just one bullpen. They're all sitting in the same room. As the dispatcher picks up, she's like, it's Devon, which he's on a first name basis with all of them now.
They all know him.
Because it's been 36 hours. It's been a day and a half.
Officer Devon.
Everything's half in this movie. And so it's just everyone in this movie is dumb. And he reveals that the $100,000 in the message, because Devon, again, he's never afraid. He's afraid because he sings like public domain songs. And so when he's afraid, he sings, and he's never really singing. So he's never really afraid. As like the bad guys are taking him, and he's taking note of like, oh, where you're taking me to the docks is like 100 Grand Avenue. Because they were talking, because he'd asked McKenna earlier, is $100,000 the same as $100,000? It's like, yeah, well, that's what they were talking about, was $100,000. Well, that's the address. So Devon calls in the address. They take Devon on a product tour of this drug facility, shows him everything. Like, here's the 3 people we have. And this is a family-friendly movie, because in every other movie where we see the drug processing plant, it's always topless women that are handling the drugs. And these are fully clothed older men. So it's a family film.
It's a family business, too.
Exactly. So the drugs are being prepared. Devon, like I said, he gets a tour of it all. Rubio tells McKenna, gives him that clue. It's $100,000. Well, McKenna gets it on the radio just as Bobo 3 happens to be driving by. The big oily guy.
Yeah.
So wonder what's going to happen now. Cut to the boss sends Devon to the boat. Just take Devon to the boat.
Yeah.
Because they're going to eventually get rid of him. I don't know. McKenna shows up dressed as Bobo 3. They think it's Bobo.
Yeah. Who's
basically their drug runner. And of course it's not, it's McKenna. They fight off the 2 bad guys. Suddenly everybody knows, again, because I don't know how communication in this movie works. Everybody knows McKenna is there, despite the 2 henchmen that saw McKenna get taken out immediately. But yet now everybody knows McKenna's there. I don't get it, but it's fine. Just like I don't know who called in the murder when Devon didn't have access and nobody else was there. So we get this very Dark Knight chase scene.
Yeah.
Of Devon and McKenna are trying to find their way out. They close all the doors. They got all their henchmen. They stop and have a quick heart-to-heart.
Because there's time for that.
Yeah. McKenna puts Devon up on this shelf with bags of stuff, and there's a henchman that comes around and he's going to like stab McKenna in the back. Devon musters the strength to throw bag of stuff.
Yes. It's like 100-pound bag of like cement mix or something.
It's heavy enough to knock this man out cold, but yet Devon picked it up and tossed it.
It's a bag of ball bearings.
Exactly. McKenna's back on Bobo's motorcycle. Everybody wants to start shooting at him, so he does what anyone would do. He pops a wheelie and lets the undercarriage of the motorcycle stop the bullets.
Those are bulletproof, by the way.
Yes. If this is going off the rails,
yeah.
They escape on
or if this is jumping the shark.
There you go. There you go. We've already had one jump on a motorcycle. Why not make another one? They escape on motorcycle. They're chased. Everyone on the dock happens to be working on the escape route.
Yes. Like they're all right there.
They're all right there. There is no clear path of escape. Everyone's in the way. The bike runs out of gas because why wouldn't it?
It took a lot of gas to pop that wheelie.
It is a long wheelie. It's like the Legolas arrow scene. Like we had to cut it back.
Yeah,
we got enough, Burt.
Yeah, just put the motorcycle down.
Yeah, come on. So they take off on foot, which we know McKenna doesn't like to run.
as this is established.
They hide out on a boat. Devin, McKenna's been shot and apparently has now full-blown paralysis. Because he doesn't ever say he's been shot. Devin notices he's been shot, but at this point forward, McKenna can't do anything except let this 8-year-old boy sit in his lap, which is another gross scene.
Yep.
As Devin drives the boat away, because now we have a boat chase scene.
Yes, because why not?
Yeah. And again, just like the motorcycle chase scene, everything gets in the way in this open water chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
Boats everywhere, barges everywhere, everything is in the way. It's like
water everywhere.
it's like Frogger on the water. There's a lot of guns pointing, but no shooting because it's a family film. And they're cornered, and McKenna's like, see those two conveniently placed boat width ramp pieces right there? I want you to ramp the boat. And so Devin starts singing, McKenna starts singing with him. It's like America the Beautiful or something like that. And they make the jump. Boat ramp is successful. The bad guys are going to follow suit, but they're idiots. So their boat jump, for some reason, they take the exact same path, and yet they end up in a whole different trajectory.
Yes.
And land and crash the boat.
Yeah. Like a crate of chickens.
Exactly. They're not dead. They're not even injured. They're just like, oh, that didn't work. Luckily, there's a pull chain full of chicken sludge or fish sludge. So Devin pulls the chain, and all of this goop just falls on him.
Fish goop.
Pulls it twice, more goop. It's just liquid goop. These guys act like it's like dried cement. They can't get up.
They actually crashed into the set of Double Dare.
yeah, they took the physical challenge. Mark Summers put that pole over there. And now, again, I don't know how they were outed, but every cop in town arrives. Devin resigns as being a police officer. He's had enough. Now that he's actually seen police work, I'm out. And McKenna says, you know what? I think I am too. Which goes back. It was his last day on the job. McKenna was too old for it. He didn't know he was about to retire, but he did. So now Devin and McKenna are BFFs, and we're on a rowboat, and Grandma's loving it, and they have matching boots, and the movie's over.
Yep. I will say, as credits roll, we get a song by Joey Lawrence.
I missed that. Yeah.
Yes. It's Nothing My Love Can't Fix by Joey Lawrence.
Joey Lawrence
is playing over the end
I think
credits.
that song was kind of a hit.
I don't remember it, but
I think I do. Yeah, I do.
I didn't recognize it as Joey Lawrence, but I was like, maybe I did. And I was like, who's doing this song? Because it's really bad. And then I went and looked at the soundtrack, and it's Joey Lawrence.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because that was, I remember that. I do. I'm going to have to listen to that again. Probably going to regret it, but
or not.
Or not.
All right. Hey, folks, every week, Oz and I give our own unique rating to the film we've been yapping about. In this case, 1993's Cop and One Half. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
I'm going to give this movie a cop and a half.
Okay.
That's the rating it gets from me.
Okay.
What are you giving it?
I'm going to give it, let's see. I'm going to give it a cop and a cop and 2.25, which would be another 50% on top of the cop and a half, if my math is right.
Okay.
You're welcome, my friend.
I appreciate it.
As you try to find an image that goes with that. Hey, folks, every week Oz and I scour the interwebs. You're welcome. We scour the interwebs, searching, yearning for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well in this week's edition of Outside Insight. Hey, Oz, What is your outside insight?
My outside insight comes from Amazon. It is a 4 out of 5 by Toby Valora, left 2010. Toby says, when this movie was released, 1993, I was 5 years old. I was mentally ahead of the curve for my age group, so I was easily able to comprehend and associate the movie's message to real-life situations. It's a good cop, bad cop spin-off with an old disgruntled detective and a young boy who wants to be a real cop someday. It's funny watching the two work together and learn from each other, even though they're from totally different sides of the spectrum. As the movie progresses, you find yourself loving the main characters and waiting anxiously for what they'll run into next. I would recommend this movie to any parent with children 5 to 6 years old and up. 5 to 6 and up.
5 to 6.
Yeah. Or just 5 and up. But I pulled this because I was 5 years old. I was mentally ahead of the curve for my age group. So I was easily able to comprehend and associate the movie's message. Like, I'm writing it in 2000. I was born in 88.
Yeah.
But I'm writing this in 2010. But let me tell you how smart I was when I was 5.
I picked up on all the intricate details of Cop and a Half when I was 5 years old.
Yep. Nothing got by me in this deep film. I picked it up. I also like this is a good cop, bad cop spinoff. No, it's just a good cop, bad cop.
It's a good cop, bad cop, yeah.
Yeah. So that's my outside insight. What do you got?
I got 2 I'm going to throw at you, both from the Internet Movie Database. First one is a 2 out of 10, written by C-Bone in May of 2001.
It's a different cut of steak.
Yeah, it is. It's a different cut. You go to your butcher. Hey, I need a couple of C-bones.
Shh. Keep it on the hush. It's prime level.
It could be worse, but not easily, is the subject line. Somehow, this strip of celluloid manages to be both less interesting and more mundane than a poorly videotaped second-grade production of The Pilgrim's First Thanksgiving. And The Pilgrims may have even had better writing. Golden's performance is lackluster and painfully unfunny, but it puts the rest of the cast performances to shame. The ending accomplishes absolutely nothing, and at the same time shatters any attempt the film had at considering serious issues, reminding us all why key grips should not write screenplays.
Okay.
All right. My other one, a 3 out of 10, also from the Internet Movie Database, left by Moan DLW in August of 2006. Cop never had half a chance.
Oh, that's fun.
I actually worked on this movie, not a film. Burt seemed to be having a bad day every day. Winkler had trouble keeping Reynolds under control. Burt seemed determined to direct. Every other shot, Burt would try to include yet another corny gag, usually one that had worked in one of his previous films. Absolutely, the funniest scene wasn't even filmed. Burt walked in while a fake gut was being strapped onto his stunt double, and his reaction was priceless.
Yeah, I think Burt Reynolds, man. Like,
yeah.
I think what you see on film is what he is.
Isn't too different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Norm Macdonald's rendition of Burt Reynolds also isn't that different from off-screen.
I don't think so.
Burt Reynolds, just dismissive.
I think if he was a score caller, they would put him in the meathead category.
Yeah. It's what scene was it where they were doing outtakes from movies and they included an outtake from was it Cannonball Run?
Yeah, it was Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember what movie that, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an outtake to a movie that wasn't even your movie.
Yeah. And it was him like flubbing a line and just trying to play it off and be cute and funny. And Sally Field's like, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, folks, it's that point in the show you've all been waiting for, especially this week with Cop and a Half. The Let's Talk About Flicks signature segment, the 3-2-1, in which Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and only one about this week's movie, Cop and a Half. Oz, what are your 3 goods?
My first one is Norman Golden III, decent enough.
Sure.
Like, we've talked before in our 180 plus episodes that child actors are very hit or miss.
Yes.
And for the most part, he was a hit. He was fine. Yeah. He wasn't he wasn't Haley Joel Osment level of stealing, the show. He's not Macaulay Culkin level.
Sure.
But he also, for somebody who was the main character, he didn't drag this film down. He was fine. So that's my first good.
Yeah.
My second is, I don't recall what scene it was, but there was a bit where Devin did something successful and gave himself some skin for it.
Like self high five.
Yes, he did the whole like slide his hand across, and it was like coming out of the police station or something, almost like, I got what I wanted. I'm proud of myself, and he slapped himself some skin.
Nice.
And the third is, when there's a scene in Grandma's apartment where they're coming out of Devin's room, and we see the cameras like in the living room looking at Devin's room, and on his wall is a Jim Belushi canine poster.
You just stole one of my goods, by the
way. And that's my third good. Is he is so dedicated to being a police officer that he has a Jim Belushi canine poster on his wall. And so I love that. I was like, oh, canine. So
I saw it too, and I literally just bolded it to be one of my goods, and you just took Jim Belushi's canine poster from me.
So sorry,
but I was gonna frame that as like Devin's commitment to living the cop stereotypes, like donuts.
Oh yeah, because first thing he asked,
that's
the first thing he asked McKenna. When do we go get coffee and donuts?
Yeah,
it's all just this fictional belief of what cops do.
Yeah, and the canine poster, goes into that too.
Yeah.
This is what you do if you're a cop. You like canine.
Yeah. You have to. You have to love Jim Belushi. So those are my three goods. What are your other two goods?
Good thing I had several alternate goods, because there's so many to pick from this movie.
I'm glad that I helped you weed them out.
So here's the one that I just added back in. Alan Silvestri's music is not that bad.
No,
it's not. It's not that bad. It's Alan Silvestri, and again, it's stereotypical music for a movie, like for a cop comedy.
Yes.
Yeah. Like there's the good cop music in the beginning that's very like Lethal Weapon-y.
Oh yeah.
Like the opening scene with him on the playground and his buddy playing cops and robbers. It's like Lethal Weapon-esque music.
Oh, it's fun.
It is fun. And there's like just goofy kid music over the opening credits. And so like the music fits the movie that this is. Yeah.
Outside of a few Burt Reynolds scenes.
Outside of it, yeah. Well, those, I got a feeling some of those will come up in a moment. So that's my first good. My second good is also near the beginning when they're playing cops and robbers. When Devin thinks that Sanchez, his buddy, went into the bathroom, Devin kicks open the door and does a sweet somersault into the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that's my second good. Is Devin's like sweet cop somersault entering the bathroom to get the perp. And my last good is this movie was made in 1993, and they used the term school counselor instead of guidance counselor.
They're ahead of their time.
They were. The term guidance counselor was officially phased out in 1990. Many people, including some colleagues and families I work with, still use the term guidance counselor.
Oh yeah.
Just without getting too haughty, as a school counselor does not guide someone. That to me, that says that they've predetermined the end for
they've got a predestined path for them.
Of course, we want students to be healthy and successful, but we're helping them find their own journey, not guiding them on a journey that I've picked out for them.
A school counselor, on the other hand, just puts it in your face, right?
Yeah.
I schooled you. Is that what you do?
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah,
and then I shove them with both hands on their shoulders. Schooled you.
That's what a school counselor does.
Yes, and I tendered my resignation as well. Yeah. So those are my three goods. And with the last one being, thank you for the professional recognition.
Right.
All right. Hey, Oz, what are your only two bads for Cop and a Half?
Well, my first one is that Vinnie Fountain is just, he's not menacing as a bad guy.
Oh, there's nothing to that character.
And it's like, so with that, like, honestly, the bullies are are worse people. I mean, granted, Vinny killed a guy and he's in drugs,
Yes.
but still, like the bullies are a bigger problem. McKenna's a bigger problem to Devin.
You could make that argument, yeah.
Vinny Fountain. So that's my first bad.
You could argue that McKenna traumatized Devin in some ways.
A little bit. But that's my first bad is that Vinny Fountain as a singing mobster boss, whatever. It's not menacing enough. So they're whatever. My second one, and I'm not going where I hope you go.
Okay.
My second one is like Devin playing hardball with the police. Like he's supposed to be this, I want to be a cop. Here's the way cops do it. Like, oh, you have evidence? I'm not giving it to you. Like, it's just so out of character for him. And combine that with him never really being traumatized by what an 8-year-old boy should be traumatized by.
Yeah, he watched somebody die.
He watched a murder. He's being followed and staked out and bullied and all these things. And he's just quippy. Like, and so that's my kind of combo second bad is never being afraid of what he should be afraid of. And which of course leads him to, you watched a murder and you can help solve said murder and you're just playing hardball with the police.
Yeah. Just for the sake of, just to get what you want.
For the plot, of course, but they're giving in. And so that's my second bad. It's just him, that whole playing hardball with the police scene was just odd. Especially what we knew about him so far and what we see about him afterwards. It's like, why are you manipulating this situation just to get what you want?
Yeah.
You're 8. So, all right. What are your 2 bads?
My first bad, I'm going to combine like 5 that I have here into one, and it's just and I'll take the low hanging fruit here. Yeah. McKenna just doing and saying things that he thinks are acceptable with an 8-year-old child, especially when you throw in the extra context of he's a figure of public authority, and a 40 to 15-year-old white male figure of authority with an 8-year-old black child, such as threatening to rip your head off, such as I'm going to tie you to the axle and drag you around the city, such as I'm going to rip your arm off, such as I'm going to pee directly in front of you, such as I'm going to point a gun at your head. And I get that he thought there may have been someone in the apartment, but
even the person at the apartment. Okay, let's assume he comes around the corner and it is like one of the bad guys. Are you still pointing the gun that low?
That's true. He takes the RoboCop method. He just shoots him directly in the groin.
He comes around the corner with the gun aimed at 4 foot high.
Yeah. Drop the milk or you lose the penis.
Drop the milk, you're coming with me. But and blowing smoke in his face. And...
there's that too. And again, you could say it's the character, but it's also the choices that were made by the script and by the creative team as well. Right. So like none of these things are acceptable.
No.
But they're all and most of them are played for laughs.
Yeah. Like, this is funny. Look at how that cop treats that black kid. Isn't that funny?
I'm a white male cop. I'm gonna threaten to drag this 8-year-old black boy around the city.
I wonder if the viewership of Florida had a problem with it.
Yeah. Maybe further up in the Panhandle, they thought it was hilarious.
Maybe, yeah.
My apologies to all of our Panhandle Patreon subscribers. My other bad is, what do we do? There's so many things here. Let's just go with glorifying police violence as acceptable and funny. As we started off with saying, when we were introduced to McKenna, he's driving after these criminals and he's plowing through fences and and it's not just played as acceptable, but it's also funny.
Yeah.
Like, when he when he punches somebody out instead of just, putting the cuffs on him.
I never hear him read his Miranda rights.
No. I'm going back here. So he ties a perp to the car and instead of just putting him in the back seat like you do,
right? He
ties him to the car and makes him run along the car back to the police station.
Right.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's funny.
Cops.
Yeah. All right. So that's my second bad is you don't do those things if you're a cop and they're not funny. And,
right.
Property damage and such.
I get you.
Yep. So those are my two bands. Oz, what's your
Early in the film, when Devin comes home and Grandma kind of lectures him about, you got to take care of yourself. I got to go to work or whatever. Mm-hmm. She really gets on him about all this cop stuff. You need to give that up, Devin. While also being the one responsible for buying him all the cop stuff and watching Miami Vice with him. Mm-hmm. So why does Grandma get on him for all this cop stuff when she's the one that buys him cop stuff and watches cop stuff with him? Like, it just seems like a mixed message there.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So
that's my is come on, Grandma, pick a lane.
Yeah, that's a good catch there, my friend.
So what's your
Again, as we've established, Devin is very committed to the bit. He wants to be a cop. He wants to live the lifestyle. He plays it. That's what he does. Mm-hmm. So my is, why can't all of my students be this dedicated to career development and work-based learning experiences as Devin? So take that, high school students. Right. You could learn a lot from Devin's commitment here in Cop and a Half.
He was 8 and knew exactly what he wanted to
be. Yeah.
And when he had the opportunity to do it for 3 days, he quit.
So be more opportunistic, high school students. When there's a work-based learning opportunity, you jump on that and you do it, even if you have to hold the police hostage to do it.
At least give it 3 days to see if it's truly what you want to do.
Yes. I've woven a lot of my professional being into this episode.
I think it resonated with you a lot.
It did. This movie hit hard for me on a professional level.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 93's Cop and a Half.
And that's Cop Movie Month.
It is Cop Movie Month. That wraps it.
We now have the rest of the year will be fully fleshed out Oz and Curtis selected themes and movies. Uh-huh. No more crossovers during a month like we had in April. And no more picking from others. Mm-hmm. It is all us the rest of the year. Uh-huh. So
we got a fun month ahead of us here, Oz.
We definitely do. What is the theme for next month?
We're switching from Cop Month to kaiju movies.
Yes.
So it's some creature or some large-scale creature or being must be in the film that we're watching, and we've got a couple that are pretty, I think, classic kaiju. The one that wraps the month is kind of a different spin.
It's kaiju. Though.
Yeah, it by that definition, it is kaiju. However, next month we are going to start off with, I think, what all would consider to be kind of a, I don't know, I almost said classic kaiju, but I guess the kaiju paradigm.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of establishes the rules.
Yes. So we're going to kick things off with Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim. Mm-hmm. It's a
lot of fun.
Yeah, very fun movie. It's got some really cheesy lines in it as well, which we'll get into more next week. But it's some cheesy characters too. But the kaiju stuff is super fun.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a film where the characters get in the way of what you really want to watch.
Yeah, just give me more robots punching monsters.
Yeah, and that's what Guillermo del Toro. I mean, he relishes in that part of this film.
Yeah,
it's like, all right,
Charlie Hunnam, shut up.
Yeah, come on, Idris, just get to it.
I don't mind seeing Idris.
I don't either. Ron Perlman, Charlie Day, but ultimately, let's just and it's very like Power Rangers esque.
Yes,
and the acting, like it's just really like. Teamwork defeats all, but it's like, all right, shut up, get to the robots.
Yeah, just get to the robot. Get to the robot swinging around the big naval ship as a sword.
Exactly. It's so much fun. But yeah, that kicks off Kaiju month of May already. Whew.
Yeah, it's at the time of this recording, we were chatting pre-show. I chaperoned our high school's prom last night. You've got a role with your local community high school tonight.
Yeah, I'm just emceeing our prom. So I'll let you decide. I'm torn because again, I'm not the focus of attention. But I also am me. I should walk around instead of sitting at the table doing the announcing. I should just walk the floor, canvas the area. No, but I'm torn it's a minimal. I'm in and out in an hour and a half tops. Do I A, just dress up nicely, or do I B, wear my tuxedo t-shirt?
Well, and for context, it's you're emceeing the promenade, correct?
Yeah. All I'm doing is announcing the people that are coming with their dates. Like,
okay,
all the attention is on the kids.
I think tuxedo t-shirt.
I'm leaning tuxedo t-shirt too,
but with like a nice pair of pants and like dress shoes.
Yeah.
So like bottom down is dressy.
Because
waist up says you're here to party.
Yeah, I don't work there anymore, so I'm doing the district a favor.
Yeah,
and I feel like I have my tuxedo t-shirt at the ready, and I don't get an opportunity to wear it to formal events all that often. So here's an opportunity. I mean, come on, everyone else is dressed in a tux. Why can't I?
Yeah, dress pants, dress shoes, top hat, cane, tuxedo t-shirt.
And the community knows me and my sense of humor well enough that that nobody who knows who I am is going to be like insulted or put off by that choice. They'll see it and be like, oh, that's pretty funny. Like, so I'll probably go that way. Because again, I'm in and out. Like promenade starts at 5. I'll be done by 6 and we're good. So I'm not in any pictures. I'm just there. So I think I'm going to go that route.
Yeah.
I think I'll go that route. So yeah, that's my role in prom tonight. But other than that, we are wrapping up April.
Yeah.
And we got some good themes coming for the rest of the year.
Yes, we do.
Might swap one out for rep titles.
Rep title.
Not sure yet though. But either way, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Social media wise, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok if I think about doing it. But it doesn't matter. Patreon link down below. Want to give a shout out to the Chicago Indie Critics Organization. Fine professionals over there doing much better work than we do. And so make sure you go and support your local film critic. As they have a lot of insight of movies that are coming out, not movies that have already come out.
We go backwards. They go forwards.
That's true. We do. So for another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
And we'll see you guys next week.